Think, okay, what about your spouse? How many cars have they bought? Now consider where you're at. Maybe you're 25 years old and you've got your first car. Maybe you're 65 years old and you've got 10 under your belt. But now consider, okay, think forward into the future. So the relevant growth amount in that same time frame of purchasing the car was much higher for the infinite banking sister when we're purchasing the first car.
Okay, so imagine this. You have two people starting with the same amount of money. They have the same goals, the same opportunities, but they end up in drastically different financial realities. And what made the difference? One individual managed their money by implementing the process of becoming your own banker, the infinite banking concept, and the other individual did not and stayed stuck in the traditional financial system. So, Rich, let's dive in.
Yeah, well, in order to do this, we're gonna go right to the source material. We're gonna go right to Nelson's book. We're gonna look at the example again of buying cars, because why everybody needs a car. We're all spending money on cars. It's a huge, call it a suck of financial cash flow that deteriorates out of people's lives all the time. And Jason, we've been doing this for so many years, and I don't know how many thousands of people we've asked the question and get them to get participation from a group in a room, from anywhere from 10 people to a couple hundred people. How many cars have you bought up to this point in your life? Okay, so listener, that's you. We're asking you now. Write that down on a sheet of paper. How many cars have you bought up to this point in time in your life? Right? Now think, okay, what about your spouse? How many cars have they bought? Now consider where you're at. Maybe you're 25 years old and you've got your first car. Maybe you're 65 years old and you've got 10 under your belt. But now consider, okay, think forward into the future. How many more cars are you going to need before you kick the bucket? Like,
And
how
how are
many
you going to
more?
buy them?
Yeah, where's the money coming from? What are you going to do? Are you going to go pay cash? I mean, the price of cars are going up. Are you buying used cars, more expensive cars? Like, what's the situation there? So all of that is relevant, but just consider how many up to this point, how many more going forward, and then think about your spouse as well. And then I want to challenge you to go one step further, one second layer, which is how many cars are your kids going to need? And if your kids get married, what about their spouse? If you start to really put all those pieces together, you say, wow, that's a lot of capital flow that potentially is going to just completely disappear out of our financial capacity. Like, it's going to leave the aquarium and someone else is going to get the benefit of all that money.
And so, this case now that we're going to look at is a case where we're looking at two individuals. They've got the same amount of money, they have the same objectives, but they're going to achieve two very different outcomes. And for the purposes of this case, given that we're referencing R. Nelson Nash's book titled Becoming Your Own Banker, we're going to refer to these individuals as twin sisters. And these twin sisters got together one day and they enjoyed a cup of coffee and they were just having a conversation saying, look, just given the fact that we're twins and we've talked about what financial objectives we have, wouldn't you know it, they're identical. We want to achieve the very same financial outcomes in our lives. But one of the twin sisters decided to do it outside of the traditional financial system and go about it a little bit differently. How did they do that?
Perfect. And so for those of you following along, if you have Nelson's book, Becoming Your Own Banker, we're going to reference page 45 of the book. So I'll bring that up on the screen here. And I just want to give everyone ability to kind of see the whole thing. It's, it's all kind of math and a big spreadsheet. So I'm going to zone in on this. We're going to make it quite a bit bigger and we're going to kind of zone in on the top section. How's that showing up for you, Jason? Nice and clear there?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, great. So